the point you made about scientific never having an answer was so apt. And I think, Diane, your example with misinformation was so apt too. And I just want to say it also explains why we are so annoying because Alexa, I feel like you're always like, Nina, I'm going to ask you this question. What's the answer? And I'm like, I don't have an answer for you. The answer is there is no answer. Because the more we do, the more me and Diane dig into this, the more we
It's like
get into
interviewing
it,
an enigma.
the more we know, the less we think we know. And the more I like, uh, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I'm trying to say that I don't know what's true.
Yeah.
I can't figure it
Wait,
out anymore.
that's the name of our podcast.
Yeah. I don't know what is true.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she said it.
Well, the flip side, the other side of that coin is that, as we're hearing a lot about disinformation, the less you know about a topic, the more you think you know about the topic. And so people will talk like experts about things they know nothing about and think they do know. And then you learn more. But if you learn more about it, you'd be like, I don't know anything about this. So if you have someone who speaks with certainty, whether they know a lot or not, people who say, yeah, that makes sense to me, and they don't think critically, they're going to spread that information and be ambassadors for this disinformation.
Because we've talked about this so many
I was going to
times.
say, I'm pretty sure it's
Dunning-Kruger.
the
Yes,
Dunning-Kruger.
the Dunning-Kruger
Yeah.
effect. Yeah.
Dunning-Kruger.
Like if someone is very, very certain about something,
Confident.
yeah, it's like
Mhm.
that could be your little alarm bell. It's like, why are they so confident about this? How are they so
Yeah.
sure?
Mhm.
It feels like a big weakness a lot of the time when answers become so much less marketable when you actually give them in context. And I think in talking about cancer, I actually think that probably has a big role to play in why people think like cancer is an umbrella term. It's like saying I want a cure for heart disease. There's such a variety that there's never going to be one solution to it, really. We still know a staggeringly limited amount about a lot of them, but it's because this is a huge category of diseases. But you'll see a lot of the time, and this is part of what I do for my job, actually. I am one of the on-staff writers that universities and a lot of research institutions have that kind of translate research to the public. But I find a lot of the time so like what we do is we write articles about the actual research that goes on, and we have to be really specific because we're working with the researchers. So whenever I want to say, oh, they found the cure for this, they found like the media can do that. They're allowed to do that. I'll get roasted and they're going to find me at the office party. And so like I got skin in the game here, which again, I think we've talked about too, the meeting inherent trust in institutions just with that question of like cui bono, who benefits, who gets anything out of this. But a lot of the time the media, because they want you to click on the article, what's way more clickable is saying that researchers found the cure for cancer is sharks, as opposed to researchers are investigating the fact that sharks do not get cancer because they are made entirely of cartilage, so they don't have bones. And they're looking at how potentially that relationship, like it's research inherently most of the time is not newsworthy. It is one small portion, one little piece of a massive puzzle that all will come together potentially to be something you can kind of encapsulate. But I think it raises people's expectations a lot when there's been so many cures for cancer that came out and the media reported about them. I heard about it in the media, but 99% of the time it fails in animal testing. It's just a lot easier. The lying and spreading disinformation, because you can manipulate that information however you want. You can really make it a lot more powerful and sound a lot better than when you actually have to be pedantic, because life is very pedantic. Nothing is actually that simple. There was one thing I wanted to ask about. So in terms of studies, do you recommend, first of all, anytime you read a news article that references a study, do you recommend like you should click on the study? And actually, now that you can, that used to be a luxury you didn't get.
You might as well, right? That's a really easy way to determine if something is correct in a news article. Like I have seen it where like fringe news sites will often say a study and link to somewhere, and that link goes nowhere. And so like right away, I'm like, why are you hiding this information? There's no point. If this research exists, just show it to me. Like, it's fine. So it's like I can tell right away that why not open up that link. The other thing, like if you have time on your hands, read the study, because you might to a different conclusion than the person that wrote the article. If you look at the analysis, too hard to put it into like just a few words, right? If you're looking at the analysis, something else might stand out to you.
I would say if you're going to talk about it, read the whole
Mhm.
thing. Like if you see a headline and you want to go and spread that headline, that's whatever, fine. But make sure you read the thing and you actually have information behind you. Because if you're talking to me, I'm going to be like, oh, where'd you get that information from? Oh, who proved that? Oh, where's that study from? And yeah, people, I'm not the most popular person at parties, but that's when people really, I find, get backed up against a wall is when they say something and you say, oh, interesting. Like,
It's when I
what were
back
the
them up against.
sources? And then it's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. And yeah, so it's like if you're gonna say something, be prepared. Or if you're gonna spread it, be prepared.